Giving shape to ideas. Konica Minolta.
This video will demonstrate a selection of the gloss meters available from Konica Minolta Sensing through our partnership with Rhopoint instruments. Rhopoint IQS gloss meters are an upgrade to a traditional tri-gloss gloss meter, providing data from not only gloss but related surface characteristics like reflected image quality and reflectance haze. Like all 3-angle gloss meters, the IQS measures at 3 angles, 20, 60 and 85 degrees. The IQS is a close tolerance instrument that correlates well with existing Trigloss S and Micro Trigloss S measurements. The IQS uses a linear photodiode array with 512 elements to provide far more useful and actionable information. The main features of the IQS are aimed at high gloss finishes, which are measured at 20 degrees. As specified to international standards, the IQS and every 20 degree or tri-gloss gloss meter measuring at 20 degree measures specular reflectance between 19.1 and 20.9 degrees. The linear diode array allows the IQS to use the reflected light between 12.75 and 27.25 degrees, and it does so in a few ways. Firstly, this allows the IQS to measure accurately even when the surface is curved or the instrument contact is slightly off, in which case it treats a different part of the LDA as the central diode. This improved performance on curved surfaces alone is a significant benefit. To begin with, we can look at R-spec, which is a very narrow angle measurement of gloss using only the central 7 diodes, which equates to around 0.1 degree either side of 20. If you look at the diagram on screen, you can see that these two samples both measure 88 and 89 GU at 20 degrees, but the R-spec tells a very different story. The top sample, the blue line, has a really narrow peak, falling almost entirely within the range of those 7 diodes. The second sample has technically the same reflected energy at 20 degrees, but you can see it's far more spread out. Its R-spec peak is at 15 compared to 88 of the first sample. To follow that same example through to reflectance haze, the IQS uses a different range in the linear diode array to measure the diffuse reflection, that is, the parts of the specular that are being reflected outside of the 20 degree range, possibly because of micro scratches or residue on the surface. These measurements are taken between 17.2 and 19 degrees and 21 and 22.8 degrees. The LDA also allows us to characterise reflected image quality and distinctness of image. If you look at the LDA diagram below, you can see that these are measured using different parts of the array, with RIQ using a far broader range. DOI has been around a little longer, and as you can see from the diagram, uses less of the array. The RIQ correlates better with human perception and uses more of the data, including both specular and diffuse reflection. To look at the 3 samples that I have here, you can see the top right sample has a small structure orange peel effect. The reflection is not like a mirror when reflecting the warm light source that I am using. Its image reflecting qualities are being impeded by the structures in the coating. For gloss finishes, we generally regard a smooth mirror finish as a quality finish, so these imperfections will clearly impact the customer assessment of quality. With the bottom sample, when the light catches, you can see a more pronounced structure in the surface. The top left sample has a hazier finish than the other 2 samples. These clear visual differences aside, the samples all measure within 8 GU of each other at the 20 degree gloss angle, so clearly there's a benefit to being able to quantify these other effects. Measuring through these samples, with only 8 GU between them at 20 degrees, you can see that the IQS provides much more data in a single measurement, data which, for high gloss coatings, is far more useful for characterising the sample and process control. Some samples simply do not have the space for a full-size gloss meter like the IQS. The IQ Flex 20S is a small head remote receptor 20-degree gloss meter for some samples such as car door handles, wing mirrors, chrome details, electronics, etc. The Flex 20S is the best solution. It provides all the same IQ data as the IQS with 20-degree gloss and has the huge added benefit of being able to use 3D printed measurement heads so that you can achieve a consistent measurement on small or tricky samples. Now, my two instruments here are unfortunately out of calibration, and these samples don't quite demonstrate the full benefit of the small receptor head, but for a small sample, this is a fantastic innovation. For more information on the parameters and instruments shown in this video, or to discuss your requirements, please contact your local Konica Minolta Sensing product specialist. There are resources available on the Konica Minolta website that cover surface measurement in far greater detail.